few days before my father died, we had one of our most poignant moments.
Turn to the side. Try to move your body to the side.
We were at the hospital and my father's blood pressure began to drop pretty rapidly. And the doctor came in and informed us that the reason his pressure was dropping was because his body was starting to fail. And it was only a matter of time before he died. My sister, being the resourceful one, decided that she was going to keep my father alive. Her plan was to raise his blood pressure by aggravating the hell out of him. So to achieve this, she started raising his bed and lowering his bed repeatedly. So she starts raising my father's bed up and lowering it back down, and she raised it up again and lowered it back down again, and raised it up, lowered it down, went up and down and up and down, and kept raising it up and lowering it down. And after like the 7th or the 8th time, my father looked at her and said, "Down." We all laughed because it was funny. My sister stopped temporarily. 5 minutes later, she decided to start up again. So she raised his bed up and lowered his bed again, and raised his bed up and lowered it again, and up and down, and kept raising it up and lowering it down, kept raising up and down. And after the 9th or the 10th time, my dad looks at her again and says, "Down." Then he looks at me, and I look back at him, and I said, "No, Pops, get down." He kind of smiles and looks at me and says, "Get down." And then he closes his eyes and repeats, "Get down." Those are the last words that my father ever said to me. For a long time, I was confused about his death. I really didn't understand his dying. But one day, I realized that the final 2 words my father said to me were much more significant than I initially thought. What he was telling me was that it was time for me to let him go. And it was necessary for me to allow him to return to his father. And it was also time for me to go back to what I used to be. And return back to how I used to go all out for my gift. And now more than ever, it was time for me to do that for him. So I say to the world, that in honor of my father, I am here now to get down.